I can't remember. I think we did this last problem in this section, but I want to go over it again just to make sure. 9.2, this was the using the sine and the tangent. Let me just pull it over here. I don't know if I copied that. I think I did. So let me go to the whiteboard and pull it in, and hopefully it'll be in there. There we go. Now, if you'll notice, whenever I do the notes now, I pull up these identities. That should be what you're doing also. I don't know how to get rid of this.
Hey, Huber, I can't see anything.
Hold on. I thought I did the... Can everybody else see everything? I mean, I thought I turned it on. Did I not turn it on? Y'all can speak. I don't even know what I'm looking for. Skype.
I can see it.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got it.
Miss Fuller, can you see it? Okay. She's gone back to sleep. Let me hit it again. If it don't work this time, then I'll have to bring you back in. It should ask you, Miss Simmons, it should ask you to accept or something like that.
Yes, sir, I did accept it.
Okay, is it not working?
I just can't see what you're doing on the board. I can hear you fine.
They'll be like flatbangs.
Okay, it should have asked you again. Did it ask you again?
No, sir, you want me to go out?
No, I'll remove you and bring you back in. Okay, it should ask you, when you come in, it should ask you to accept. And you should say,
Okay, I can see it now. Thank you.
okay. All right. So here's the problem. We may have done it last time. Even if we did, it ain't going to hurt to go over it again. So look at this, and the first thing we're going to do is use the sign right here. Sometimes I need a kind of a reminder of what we did last week. Remember to mute your microphones, please. Those microphones on these computers are very sensitive. It picks up everything y'all doing at home. All right. Sine of 75 is sine of, we're going to add, so that's going to be sine of what? 45 plus what? 30? So the sine of 45 plus 30. And sine of 45 plus 30, sine of 45. And remember, this with the sine, it's opposite. So it's sine, cosine, cosine, sine. So sine, cosine, cosine, sine. Now you just bring out your special angles. And we got the 45-degree angle. 1 square root of 2. I don't like to do it that way. What is wrong with this thing today? Every time I use the eraser.
Priority 1 message coming in on secured channel.
15 minutes later, I tell you, there are some people that are abusing something good. I'm getting tired of adding people 15 minutes after class starts. All right. So, sine of 45, there's 45. 1 square root of 2, and 30, 1 square root of 2, square root of 3, and 2. I don't know why that. Okay? Alright, so sign Oscar had. So Oscar had. So that's going to be 1 over the square root of 2 for the sign. So 1 over square root of 2 times cosine a hump of apple. 1 over 1.
Priority 1 message coming in on secured channel.
Just wait, I'm sorry. Plus cosine of 45. Cosine is going to be what? Of apple. So that's going to be 1 over 3, 1 over the square root of 3. And then sine of 30, Oscar had 1 over the square root of 2. Make sure I didn't mess that up. 1. This board is gone quirky. I don't know what's wrong with it. 1 square root of 3. Keeps pulling up, for some reason, it keeps pulling up the eraser. I don't know why. Alright, everybody make sure I didn't make a mistake there. Sine, Oscar had 1 over the square root of 2. Cosine of apple, 1 over the square root of 1 over, I did mess up. That's supposed to be 1 over the square root of 3 here. Right? Cosine of 45, cosine be of apple and 1 over 1. No? 1 over square root of 2. Okay, check it. Make sure. Let me go check and see who these people are. Please mute. Thank you. Especially when there's a dadgum dog in the background. Ugh.
Just mute me, man. Just mute me.
Mute your microphone. I don't want to hear no damn dog.
Just mute it.
Yes, unless you got a question.
No, I don't. Just mute it.
Okay. All right. So I think everybody's here now. All right. For those that are just joining us, we're finishing up or doing the problem from last time. If anybody checked, did I make a mistake there? I don't think I did. These things are in the way half the time. There we go. Question. I think that's right. Y'all not saying anything, so I guess it's right. So, what is this? This will be 1 square root of 6. Oops. 1 square root of 6 plus 1 square root of 6 is equal to 2 over what? Square root of 6, which if you multiply that, that's going to be 2 square root of 6 over 6. Which is equal to what? Square root of 6 over what? Alright, now y'all do B. Tangent of 7 pi over 12. Now the first thing you do, what I tell y'all, first thing you do when you get a 7 pi over 12 or 7 pi, find out what? Find out where you are. So, figure out where 7 pi over 12 is first. Does anybody have any questions on this? Make sure I didn't make a mistake here. Dan was giving me. Mute your mic, please. Mute your mic. Y'all don't know how sensitive y'all's mics are. Seriously.
Did mine mute? I don't know.
I muted it.
I tried
Hold
to.
on. There. Stores is muted and Barnes is muted. Yeah. Everybody's muted now. So just speak up if you got a question. The reason is there's so much background noise. It comes in on your computer and it's amplified on this giant tower speaker thing I got here. All right, make sure I didn't make a mistake there, because if I made a mistake, it would be right in here. Because my pen was acting up. I think I got it. All right, now, I'm going to erase this since nobody has a question on it. And I hope it don't erase this whole thing over here. I hope I don't. I went ahead and copied that whole thing on the left just in case it did. And now we're going to take tangent of 7 pi over 12. I'm not going to do anything till I figure out what 7 pi over 12 is. 7 pi over 12 times 180 over pi. That goes out. 2 or 6 will go in here 2 times. 6 will go in here 30 times. 2 will go in there 1 time. 2 will go in there 15 times. 7 times 15 is what? 105 degrees? Somebody check my math. So we know that 105 degrees is somewhere in the what quadrant? Second quadrant. That's very important to know, especially on the next problem that we do. It's going to be asking you all this kind of stuff. So 105 degrees is 60 plus what? 60 plus 45, Hubert. That's right, class. So they're wanting the tan. So we're going to be using that. So crank it out. If you can't do it, just consider yourself what? A failure. Pretty bad when you have a snack fit and have to go and leave in the middle of work to go get snacks. I didn't have anything. And then I brought the 6-pack of drinks. You can't see it anymore. And I was downstairs fixing to put it in the refrigerator, and one of them fell out of the sink. And you know they make those cans so thin now. It just spewed all over the office downstairs. Looked like I had an accident. My pants were just covered. So everybody was looking at me like I'm some kind of retard or something. It's gone now. It should have happened Monday. Oh, we wasn't here Monday. That's why. So, hopefully you're starting to get some kind of direction on how to start these problems. Because I'm going to tell you something. When I was in trig, oh my gosh, it was not nice. It wasn't a pleasant experience. Because the teacher I had, I don't even remember who it was, at Tri-County, I think it was Stearns. It was awful. He would just go through and you wouldn't know how he applied which identity. How did you know to use that? Well, the reason you know is because you know that 7 pi over 12 is equal to 105 degrees. That's one thing. Now you know it's 105 degrees. You know in your head, okay, that's 60 plus 45. So the tangent of 60 plus 45 is equal to the tan of 60 plus tan of 45 over 1 minus the tan of 60 times the tan of 45. Okay, now draw out your 60 and your 45. I'm going to draw it up here. 60 and 45. Now the tan of 60. Oscar had a hunk. I just realized something. I used the tangent in that last problem. Y'all didn't even catch it. We got to redo the last problem. Sine 75, that answer's wrong. I did the tangent. Okay, but anyway, I'll go back and redo it. All right, tangent 45, tangent 60 plus tangent of 60. Oscar had a hunk of apple. Tangent of 60 of apple. So the square root of 3 over 1. Plus the tangent of 45 of apple. 1 over 1. Over 1 minus parentheses 1 square root of 3 over 1 times 1 over 1. Y'all check me. Now, you can do whatever you want to. You've got a common denominator on the numerator, so you can do that. So that's going to be square root of 3 plus 1 over 1 over 1 minus square root of 3 over 1. And we're going to clean that up in just a minute. Basically, you've got this, I'm going to erase this. You've got the square root of 3 plus 1, so that's square root of 3 plus 1 over, what's this? 1 minus what? 1 minus square root of 3. Now, what's the problem here? This is somewhat the answer, but it's not the finished answer. Why? Because you got what in the denominator? You got a square root of a, you got a radical. So you got to rationalize the denominator. So go ahead and rationalize the denominator. So now I'm going to erase this area over here. Really? Okay, so that's not finished, so I'm going to multiply by the conjugate of 1 minus the square root of 3, which is 1 plus the square root of 3, over 1 plus the square root of 3. And that's going to give me shortcut number 2 on the bottom, which is going to give me 1 minus 3, which is what? What's 1 minus 3? -2. That's right, class. And first would be the square root of 3. Outer would be 3. Inner would be 1. And last would be the square root of 3. So square root of 3 plus square root of 3 is going to be, all together it's going to be 4 plus 2 square root of 3 over 2, which is equal to 2 plus square root of 3. Okay, I'm going to have to go back and do the A because I think I messed up. I was doing the tangent when I should have been doing the sine. So let me go back and fix that. Because here, sine 75 is equal to this right here, which is the sine of what? 45 plus 30. So the sine of 45 plus 30. And that's equal to sine, cosine, cosine, sine. So sine of 45, cosine of 30, cosine of 45, sine of 30. And let's let's see, we got 30, we'll put 30 right here. And that's 1, square root 3, and 2. The sine of 45, Oscar had the 1 over square root 2. A hump, that's where I messed up. Be 1 over the square root of 2. No, see, cosine of 30. Cosine of 30 would be what? Square root of 3 over 2. Y'all check it. That's it. I was doing the tangent of 30 when I was doing 1 over square root of 3. Plus the cosine of 45, Oscar had a hump, which would be 1 over the square root of 2. And sine of 30, right here, Oscar had 1/2. Y'all check me on that, and I think you'll see that I messed up on that square root of 3 over 2 on the previous problem. And that's going to be square root of 3 over 2 square root of 2 plus 1 over 2 square root of 2, which is equal to square root of 3 over 1, or square root of 3 plus 1 over 2 square root of 2, multiplied by square root of 2 over 2. And that's going to equal 2 times 2 is what? 4 on the bottom? And square root of 6 plus square root of 2, y'all check it. Square root of 6 plus square root of 2. Y'all check me on that. Y'all didn't check me very well on the last one, but I think that's the answer to that one.
That's what I got.
Okay, thank you. All right, so I think I messed up right here. It didn't matter with the sign, I don't think, but I think I messed up right there. I was doing, for some reason, I was doing the tangent of 30, which would have gave us what? 1 over square root of 3. That's where I think I messed up. And the 1 over 1. I think I did, let's see, that's 45. The cosine, I think I messed up here also. Y'all look in that previous problem and see if I messed up those two. But anyway, I fixed it, so it doesn't count as it doesn't count as incorrect if I found it and fixed it. Doesn't. I'm just kidding. All right, now the last one. All right, now, this one is going bass backwards. Which one is mine? Sine, cosine, cosine, sine. Sine, cosine, cosine, sine, so we're going to do sine of AB. So sine of 40, cosine of 160, minus cosine of 40 times the sine of 160 is equal to the sine of what? Well, what's A? 40. What's B? 160. So, y'all act like y'all don't know what's going on. Sine of 40 minus what? 160. Which is equal to the sine of 40 minus 160 is negative what? Sine of negative 120. Well, what's in trig? The first thing you do is figure out what? Where are you? Where is negative 120? Negative 120 is down here. Okay? Negative 120 degrees means that this right here, I'm sorry, it's over here. Negative 120 is right here. So that means 90 plus what? I'm asking y'all. 90 plus what is equal to 120? I'm not moving, I'm not going forward until somebody answers that. 30, thank you. 30. So this is 30 degrees right here. So you're at the 30-degree angle. Now remember, you're in the third quadrant. So that means your x is what? Negative, and your y is what? Negative. All students take calculus. All students take calculus. So the tangent and the what are going to be positive? The tangent and the cotangent are going to be what? Positive. So what does that mean you're going to have here?
Negative.
A negative. That was one of the hardest things I could not figure out in trig, because it was never presented to me the way that it needs to be presented. All students take calculus. I never could figure out what all that meant. Now I know. Well, not now I know, but later after I figured it out. And it also helps to know, in the next problem it's going to help also. The next problem that we do. So the sine of negative 120 is equal to the 30-degree angle. I'm not even worried about, I'm going to put a negative right here for my answer because I know it's going to be negative because it's a sine. So, what's x? X is going to be, let's see, this is 60, let's see, 30 degrees is right here, so it's going to be negative and negative. So x is going to be what? Negative, this negative 1, and this is going to be negative square root of 3, and this is going to be 2. And what is the sign? Oscar what? Had. Oscar had. So negative 1 over 2, right? And what's negative 1 over 2? Should be 1/2. I don't know. No. Hubert, don't do that. I just messed up. I just did exactly what I told y'all not to do. Do the 30-degree angle. Do the sine of 30 degrees. What is the sine of 30 degrees? Forget the. See, I did two things that I wasn't supposed to. As long as you do all students take calculus, you don't have to worry about the signs. Sorry. Okay, so what is the sine of 30 degrees? 1 over 2, so you just put a 1 over 2 there, and your answer is negative 1/2. So write down those answers and let's see if we got them right. Handy dandy. All right, did we get square root of 6 plus 2 over 4? Okay. Next one. Could we get negative 2 minus square root of 3? We got positive 2.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's check and see what we did wrong there. Oh, I bet I know. No, did I multiply by 1 plus the square root of 3? Did I rationalize by 1 plus the square root of 3? Y'all can't look at your notes and tell me? What did I multiply by? That would be the same one. That would be the same thing. 1 plus the square root of 3 is the same thing as the square root of 3 plus 1. But why did we get? Okay, we'll do that one over. Let's check C. What did they get with C? And I got negative square root of 3, so I must have done something wrong there. I suck. Okay, let me go back here. Let's see what I did wrong here. Let's go back to my drawing. No, I can't. Because I've already, that's the only thing I hate about this. All right, let's finish this. Let's see what I did wrong here. If somebody speak if you see where my error is. While I'm trying to get rid of this stupid thing, go away. All right, anybody see where I am stupid. I know what I did wrong. Look here, y'all. This is 30 degrees right here. If this is 30 degrees, I am getting so frustrated. If this is 30 degrees, right? Hold on, and I'm going to hit this thing at least 15 times. Kind of help if I had training on it. All right, if this is 30 degrees right here, y'all. Y'all see where I'm shading this in right here? If this is 30 degrees, what's this angle right here?
60.
I used the wrong angle. Okay? I used 30 instead of 60. I guess I just had 30 on my brain. This is supposed to be, it's supposed to be 30 degrees. I think what was wrong was I saw that 30 right there, and I thought 30 degrees is supposed to be 60. Because this right here is 60. And if that's 60, that's the one we're using. So, that's not the one I used. I'm not supposed to be having this much trouble. Okay. So that's going to be 1 square root of 3. And what? 2. And the sign, Oscar had is square root of 3 over 2. You know, I wish I would worked at a college that was technological savvy. Instead of a college that has a bunch of daggone T-Rexes. Negative square root of 3 over 2. Sorry about that. And I know where I went wrong. I went wrong because I said 30 degrees right here, and I had 30 on my brain, and I just made a 30 degree. You got to make the 60 degrees because if this is 30, this down here is 60. So that's where I messed up. Sorry. Okay, now that's the, what is that, the third one? Is that C? All right, now let me go back to B and figure out what I got a sign wrong somewhere in there. And I'm not worried about it because these things are not foolproof. You don't just go through and do them one time. And I mean, if you do them one time and get them right, that's great. But sometimes you're going to get a sign wrong, and sometimes you're going to get a number wrong. So don't kill yourself, beat yourself up if you make a mistake. All right, so 105 degrees. 105 degrees is right in here. And we said that was tangent of 45 plus what? 30? Or just 45 plus 60. Okay, and tangent of 45 plus 60 is right here. So that's going to be the tangent of 45 and the tangent of 60 over 1 minus the tangent of 45 times the tangent of 60. Now we got our 60 right here. This is our 60. This is our 45. This is our 30. So tangent. Oscar had a hump of apple. So 45 of apple would be 1, right? So that's going to be 1 over 1 plus, and of apple with the 60 is going to be square root of 3 over 1. Everybody got that? Over 1 minus the tangent of 45 is 1 over 1. Oscar had a hump of apple, 1 over 1, times the tangent of 60, which is the square root of 3 over 1. So I need everybody to check that and make sure that I'm right there. Now, the top is going to render what? 1 plus the square root of 3. Does everybody agree with that?
Yes.
Thank you, one person. And then the bottom is going to give us 1 minus the square root of 3. Now, I'm going to multiply by the conjugate, which I asked y'all what I multiplied by before. I know I turned it and read it. 1 plus square root of 3 over 1 plus square root of 3. And that's going to give us on the bottom shortcut number 3. Which shortcut number 3 will give me 1 minus, okay, I think I know what's happening. I think I know why the answer is like it is now. Okay, 1 minus 3, which is what? Negative 2, Hubert. That's right, class. And then the top is going to give us 1. 1 times 1. 1 times the square root of 3 is square root of 3. 3, square root of 3 times 1 is square root of 3. And then square root of 3 times square root of 3 is square root of 9, which is 3. Y'all check me on that. And then that's going to give me 1 plus 9 is 10, plus 2 square root of 3 over negative 2, and that negative 2 will grow into here. That'd be negative 5 minus square root of 3. Right? Somebody check me. Negative 5 minus the square root of 3. What was their answer?
It was negative 2, negative square root of 3, like you said.
Negative 10? How'd they get negative 10? Negative 2 minus square root of 3. Okay?
Yeah, I didn't say 10. I thought I said 2.
Instead of 3, you put the square root of 3 times square root of 3.
Wait, sorry, where?
You put a 9 instead of 3 for the square root of 3 times square root of 3.
There, thank you. It's supposed to be 3. I said the square root of 9, didn't I?
Yes.
Okay, that'd be 3. And then that would be 4. There we go. Negative 2. Thank you very much. Negative 2 minus square root of 3. All right, now, as a review. Now, another question. Here we go. Next question. And I'm just going to go ahead and put the question on here first, and then I'll put the other stuff on here. All right, this is a test question, so you might want to write it down, put a star beside it. Got to get it below the little thing so it won't cover it up. There. Now, what's the first thing you do when you're dealing with these trig problems? Find what? Where you are. All right, suppose that A and B are angles in standard position with A is equal to 4/5. There's the part that I'm telling you about. A lot of people, when they see this part right here, they freak out because they don't understand it. Right here. Well, find out where you are. Let's go back to the unit circle. We don't have to fill it out. Let's just go back to the unit circle. And let's fill out the 4 quadrants, or the 4 quartiles. This is 0 and 1. 2 pi. What is this? Well, this is pi. So this is pi over what? Pi over 2. And what is this? 3 pi over 2. So right now, where is angle A? It's between pi and what? Pi over 2. So where is that? Okay, so you take your highlighter. There's that angle. All right? And the sign Oscar had. All right? Oscar is positive, and the hypotenuse is positive, so therefore the sign, all students take calculus, the sign is positive. That's why 4/5 is positive. All right, B, and I'm going to use a green color, is between where? Pi and what? So you got 2 angles right here. And it says find each one of the following. Well, let's go ahead and draw our angles now. The yellow one, Oscar is 4. So that means that 1, 2, 3, 4. That's that right there. 4, and the hypotenuse is what? 5. Right? So the hypotenuse, if you was to draw an angle right here, we know that the opposite, let's see, I'm drawing an angle here. Hold on. I'm trying to draw it generically. Okay. Hold on. Just drawing a generic angle, and it's got a height of 4 and a hypotenuse of 5. Now you can find x there by doing what? Pythagorean. There's 2 ways to do this. You can either use the identity, or you can just do the Pythagorean theorem and not worry about the identity. It's whatever you want to do. But for those that want to use the Pythagorean, 5 squared minus 4 squared is equal to A. And A is going to be negative. So 5 squared is what? 25? 25 minus 16, so that means A is equal to what? Negative 3. Everybody understand that? Now, the B, what does it say? Cosine. Cosine, Oscar had a hump. A hump. So we know that it's got a different hypotenuse. But we know that the adjacent is negative 5. So negative 5 would be out here. I'm trying to draw this. Just give me a second. There we go. And we know that angle is negative 5 here. And the hypotenuse is what? 13? So you could actually go the square root of 13 squared minus 5 squared is equal to opposite. And we know it's going to be negative also. So 13 squared is 169. 169 minus 25 is going to be what? 144. And that's equal to what? 12. And that's going to be a negative 12. Now we know where we are. We know that we've got two angles, one in the second quadrant, one in the third quadrant. But they're wanting to know the sine of A plus B. Well, now you can just do it. Now you can use the Pythagorean identities. But I'm just going to go ahead and what's the sine? What's the sine of A? Well, I'm going to go ahead and just write sine right here. Here's A. Like that. There's the 5. Here's the little man. And what is this? 4 and negative 3. We got to find that angle. So if we find the angle, then we've got sine of A plus B. We've got that. So sine is Oscar had. Oscar had. So 4/5. So take 4/5 and take the inverse sine of it, and that's your angle. Somebody tell me what you get. Inverse sine of 4/5. What do you get? Make sure it's in degree mode. You get 53.1, everybody? Okay, 53.1. That don't sound good. And then B, take B here. B is like this. And that's going to be negative 5, negative 12, and 13. And the cosine, or the sine of B is going to be what? Sine Oscar had, it's going to be 12 over 13, negative 12 over 13. So it might be better to go with Pythagorean identities. I'm sorry, not Pythagorean identities. Sine of A plus B. What is your sine of A plus B is equal to what? That's where you go sine, cosine, cosine, sine, right? It's minus sine of A times the sine of B, cosine, sine, cosine. I haven't even used magenta. Have I even used magenta today? No. But it shows up. It's about impossible to use everything there. Cosine minus, is it cosine sine? Cosine of A. Sine of B. Check me and make sure I'm right. I'll pull in the sine, make sure. Sine. Let me pull in. You ever have a day where just things didn't go right? Y'all ever have those days? There we
A
go.
couple.
A couple. All right, there it is right there. So sine of A plus B is equal to the sine cosine plus, should be plus, I'm sorry, cosine sine. So put a plus there. We should be able to use the Pythagorean identity here. Let's see if that's what they did. Because that's what I would do. Yep, that's what they did. So we can do that. And they're finding out the cosine. Yeah. But you could have done that easily by the 3/5. The cosine is 3/5. Yeah. We could do that also. So however you want to do it, so it doesn't matter. Either use the Pythagorean theorem or use the Pythagorean identity, either one. So use the, let me go ahead and I'm going to erase this part, but I'm not going to erase what I've done before because you're going to see it when I, just forget it. Let me just write the Pythagorean identity. Pythagorean identity says the sine squared of A plus the cosine squared of B is equal to what? Sine squared plus cosine squared is equal to 1. We already have the sine. The sine of A is equal to what? 4/5. But if you square it, what do you get? 16 over what? 25. Plus cosine squared is equal to 1. Now solve for cosine. What do? Cosine squared of whatever is equal to 1 minus 16 over 25. Cosine squared. This board is driving me bananas. I'm sorry, but it's really getting on my nerves. It hasn't worked all day today. There. Now stay there. Now what was I writing? Yeah, there we go. Sorry about the technical difficulties. All right, so cosine squared is equal to 25 over 25 minus 16 over 25, which is what? Cosine squared is equal to what? 9 over what? 25, and what's the square root of 9 over 25? Cosine is equal to 3 over what? And what did I tell you it was? I already told you it was 3. So you can use the Pythagorean identity or you can use this. But once you get through with everything, plug the sine of A and sine of B into, you got here, and this is the sine right here. That's the sine, and the cosine of B is right here. And now you've got the cosine of A. The cosine of A is right here. You got to put a negative there. Okay? Right? All students, yeah, be a negative 3/5. And then the sine of B, we can do that with the same thing. Or you can go over here and say the sine of B, Oscar had, that'd be right here. Oscar had would be negative 12 over 13. And plug it all in. And that's what they're doing. You'll see. Let me just show you the slide. Because with this board, I'm about aggravated. Let's see. Okay, right here. They got the 16 over 25, and then they got 3/5. Now they took that 3/5, and what is this right here? Where did they get that 12 over 13? Well, that's what we figured a while ago. And now you plug in sine of A plus B is equal to the sine of A times cosine of B plus the cosine of B minus sine of A, or vice versa, I'm sorry, this is sine of A, and that's equal to that. I can't get this board to work today. Now, how do you do B? Well, let me get B back the way it was. I can't even figure, okay. Now, what does it say? Tangent of A plus B. What are you going to do there? Well, plug it into the tangent of A plus B. You've got the tangent, you've got all your triangles right now. So, if you got your triangles, and we said our triangles were, I'm on a different board now, so I can't work, hold on. I keep going and working on this board even though it's not right. All right, tell me what I had my triangle in the second quadrant. And what were the dimensions on it? Well, the hypotenuse was 5, Hubert. That's right, class. And the 4, and this was what? -3. And then my bottom half was -5, I think. And what was the 13? -12. All right, there's my 2. Now we need tangent now. With tangent, Oscar had a hump what? Of apple. Of apple. So we're going to be using tangent of A and the tangent of B now with the tangent of A plus B. Now remind me what the tangent of A plus B is. Well, the tangent of A plus B is equal to what? The tangent of A is plus the tangent of B. Y'all check me. Over 1 minus the tangent of A times the tangent of B. Check me. Because this board's not going to write it. Tangent of B. Y'all check me. Tangent of A plus the tangent of B over 1 minus tangent of A times the tangent of B. Is that right? So let's find the tangent. Oscar had a hump of apple. Now, this is A, and this is B. Of apple, 4 over -3, or -4/3. So, -4/3 times, what's this one? 12 what? Of apple. 12 over 5. Positive or negative? Positive. Over 1 minus -4/3 times 12/5.
It's not supposed to be addition, not multiplication.
Thank you. Thank you. So now you're going to have to use common denominator of 15. 3, 1 to 15, 5 times, that's going to be -20. 5 will go into 15 3 times, 36 over 1, and that's going to be what? -48, well, it's going to be positive, right? Yeah. Positive 48 over 15. Don't y'all like how I'm getting magenta spots all over the spot and I haven't even used magenta? All right, now, 1 plus 48 over 15, that's easy. Put a 15 over 15 here. When somebody add 48 to 15, what do you get? I think over 50, what, 53? 63, thank you. So we've got, what's negative? That'd be -16 over 15. Or that'd be positive. Positive over 15 over, I don't forgot what I said, 63 over 15, and 15's cancel, and you should be left with 16 over 63. Now, boy, that don't sound right at all. Oh, okay, 16 over what? No, that's not it, is it? Oh, that's the one we got before. Let's see what we get. That 63 don't seem right, but we'll see what we get. I don't know. So what's the tangent? Let's go down here and look at the tangent, see what we get. 16 over 63. So you're starting to see again, what are the identities? Are the identities something that is unbelievably hard to do, or is it plug and chug? It's plug and chug, but you've got to know what? Where you are. You've got to know where you are. If you don't know where you are, you might as well just leave the identities at home because you're not going to be able to understand them. That's why it's so important for you to know that unit circle and for you to understand those special angles. Okay? Okay, now the last thing. From the results of part 1, or part A and B, we find also that sine of A is positive and tangent is also positive. Therefore, A and B, A plus B, must be in quadrant 1. All students take calculus. The sine is positive and the what? Tangent is positive. So, A plus B must be in quadrant 1, where that's the only place that both of them can be. And that's where students have they go crazy here. They go, I don't understand. Well, parts A and B, the tangent of A plus B is what? Positive. What was the sine? Was the first one sine? Sine of A plus B came out to be positive what? Wasn't it 16 over 65 or something like that? Okay, so we've got two positives. If the sine of A plus B is positive and the tangent of A plus B is positive, there's only one quadrant that it could be in, and that's what? The first quadrant. Now, this is a test question. It's also a standardized test question, and it's also one that you might see in Calc 2. All right? So, you need to make a note of it. Now, somebody have an outline with them? I know we do 9.2, but has anybody got an outline with them? Do you have one? Okay, well, what do we go, let me see. Right now, we're in 9.2. So, we only have one more section, 9.3. So, everybody should be working on 9.2 homework, and then we'll go on to 9.3 Tuesday when y'all come back, okay?
All right.
All right, anybody got any questions from home?